And welcome to the Thursday Night Live here with my guy Nash Talks Texas, talking a little Texas football. Might sneak in some baseball references if things turn around in Columbia, South Carolina. Early deficit for Texas baseball. Of course, Texas women's rocking and rolling with the Final Four tomorrow. How we doing, brother Nash? Outside of what's going on with Texas baseball at the moment, how we doing?
I mean, it's baseball. That's how it goes sometimes, but we're doing all right. We're doing good. Still got a smile on our face.
Oh yeah, you're sitting 7-2. You can smile a little bit, but again, man, it's not like we're playing bad or anything. I mean, South Carolina's heading to baseball. What are you going to do? That happens out there. Guys, if you have not subscribed to Inside Texas, you're missing out on some peak offseason content. Go check it out. Again, you got the ultimate fan bundle rocking at 50% off on that discount. So take advantage if you haven't done so yet. But appreciate you guys being with us. Throw a like on the video if you haven't done so yet. Again, it's the off season. We're going to go through all types of different content here, probably cover it all, maybe twice. But we've talked about how Texas, obviously can come over some of how the shortcomings of last season in 2025. Now we're going to talk about the ways that Texas can fail. Things, maybe call it warning signs, red flags, things that you'll see. And again, a lot of us looked at the 2025 season, and I think very early on in non-conference, we knew that maybe there were some really serious underlying issues. Obviously, Arch wasn't great early on. The offensive line, though, was a very big issue. Couldn't run the ball against teams. San Jose State, UTSA. You can't run the ball against those teams. You're not going to line up against the Kirby Smarts and the Georgias of the world and be able to move the football. So I ask you, Nash Talks Texas, when you think of Texas and if they were to underachieve maybe again in 2026, how does that happen, man? What goes wrong for Texas? Say we lose 3 or 4 games, miss out on the college football playoffs again.
It's going to be centered around the offensive line, in my opinion. I mean, it's just to what you just mentioned a second ago. As soon as we saw the Florida game, it was like, okay, that was bad. And there were a lot of people that were firing at Arch Manning after that game, and it was like, if you watch that game, Arch Manning was not the problem. Arch Manning played a hell of a game, all things considered. It's one of these deals where you can't have turnstiles at offensive line. I mean, like left guard was, I it was almost like we weren't even starting the guy. Might have had a tackle if we put a tackle dummy out there. It might have done better. It just it's one of these situations where we need to get some push on, especially when you're talking about a Steve Sarkisian offense. You need to get pushed in the run game. You need to be able to run the ball. His offense is built off of running the football. And if he can't run the football, then a lot of the stuff that he does gets rendered ineffective. It's one of these deals where offensive line has got to be the number one starting factor for Texas.
Yeah, and it's not just like, hey, like, can they run block? Can they protect Arch Manning? What's up, Mr. Chris Bennett? It's, hey, have we chilled out with the pre-snap penalties? Are we going to be one of the worst teams in all of the FBS and the penalty department?
I think
That's
the
another.
worst. I think at one point it was the worst.
It felt like we were twice that. But again, yeah, no tacos. What's up, Mister Longhorn fan battle? No tacos for me tonight, man. We went with the mud bugs. We had to get that HEB crawfish boil. If y'all have not tried, I'm telling you, if you haven't tried it, got a little life hack for you guys. So a lot of the guys that are running these HEB crawfish boils, at least here in the great city of New Braunfels, like it's the same guys out there time and time again. And I learned a couple of weeks ago that a lot of these guys that are out there slinging that crawfish, they're the ones that are whipping it back there. They're boiling it, they're cooking, doing all the work. And so my guy today, I go in there about 5:30, and he's tired of being there. Long story short, tired of being there. And so he tells me when I run out, I get to go home. And so he's like, every pound you buy, I'll give you one free. He really meant he'll give me about 2 free for every pound I buy. So I'm just saying, worth a shot. Maybe roll in there after work on the way home, pick up a couple groceries, check out, see if they're offering a couple,
Hey,
discount.
they got some crab clusters too, snow crab. That's fire. And
Yep.
then I'm gonna be getting some lobster tails tomorrow
Oh,
for my
lobster
crawfish
tails.
bowl. Yeah,
Hey,
the HB boil, that bay boil, that is not something to play with.
yeah.
Good stuff.
It is good stuff, man. And again, makes me want to get my own pot. Yeah, the penalties, man. That's going to be a big bugaboo. Like, you just can't So here's the thing: when you have a Bijan Robinson, you have an Xavier Worthy, and you have, Jonathan, you have some of the offensive skill talent that Texas has had. You're able to overcome some penalties. Texas had so many big plays with Worthy, Bijan, all the different backs. You know, last year we couldn't run the football. So when you're not able, an issue, you can't run the football. You really start to feel those, even those little 5 yard penalties, so much more. And Texas had more last year, and then they have traditionally had under Sarkisian and Kyle Flood, and they normally have a lot under Kyle Flood. So again, maybe it is just a product of the Kyle Flood system. Maybe it is coaching. Maybe it's not. That's not me dogging Kyle Flood. I mean, I think it's definitely a fair question to ask because it's been an issue
Especially
since.
making millions of dollars.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, since this regime has got to Texas, it's been an issue. So certainly a fair question, but definitely agree with you, man. It's what does this offensive line do? What is the upside of this offensive line? Is it a 9 or 10 win regular season? Is it a college football semifinalist or further and beyond? And so, yeah, again, it's the off season, guys. A lot of us feel, hey, we need to see it on the football field. We need to see it against live competition. GJ Kinney's Texas State Bobcats, and then Ryan Day's Ohio State Buckeyes the week following. That's when we'll know exactly what we have with this offensive line. And again, maybe last year I'm not going to say got fooled. I don't want it to sound like that, but we ran for a $160 against Ohio State, and it could have been a lot more, to be honest, with the job the offensive line did. And so we know that Sark can game plan. So maybe some of us, maybe it's the first road game against Tennessee when we're at Neyland Stadium in a crazy environment with 105,000 people going berserk on every single, Texas offensive snap. Maybe that's when we learn, like, okay, this offensive line is capable of this. This is where they are as far as penalties. But again, as far as talking about where we're going to fail, I think every Texas fan in the world would sit here and be like, yeah, the first priority or the first thing that would go wrong, rather, is it would be the offensive line. Outside of the offensive line, Nash, what do you got?
I mean, it kind of branches off the offensive line, but I think the red zone offense, it's just got to be better.
Yep.
You have to, when you get in the red zone, you have to be able to score. Because, I mean, this is kind of the problem with what we had with the Ohio State game. Even with how bad Arch Manning played, missing all those throws, and at times he's making NFL level throws. So not to harp on him, but if we go down there and when we were in the red zone and we walk away with 0 points, if we just go and kick a field goal, I mean, at the end of the game, we're sitting there with a chance to maybe push the ball 10 more yards, and then we're in Shipley's field goal range, and then we're tying up the game to go to overtime. So it's just one of these deals where I don't want to see points left on the table, and that goes to both the offensive line and the coaching. I mean, I'd rather at this point I'd rather kick a field goal than go for it on fourth and short. I understand the temptation of doing that, but when your offensive line wasn't getting any push, if they're still not getting any push this next year, just take the 3 points. Just take it. But we need to be able to establish a run game and then also do that in short area, because it's one thing to run between the 20s. Getting offensive line push between the 20s when you have the threat of Arch Manning throw onto Cam Coleman, Ryan Wingo, Emmett Mosley, all these other dudes. It's another thing when that field of play gets condensed and there's a wall that Texas has to score in between. So I want to see more push inside the red zone. That would probably be my next biggest.
It's going to go a long way. I mean, thinking, LFB has it right here. Nash, you just had. I think about how many points Texas has left on the board in the Steve Sarkisian era. Down in the red zone. Sometimes we did take the three, and we can't make a chip shot. Go back to Texas at home against Alabama in 2022. You know what I mean? And think about that kicking display. So again, we've made offense look really, really hard at times. We've made special teams look really, really hard at times. Collectively, this is the most talented offense Sark has had at Texas. You've added red zone weapons like a Cam Coleman. I think both of these backs will contribute to red zone success. Obviously, they have speed to hit the edges, which is going to be really, really big. Maybe you have a Cooper that's able to come in and run between the tackles. Hollywood Smothers may be that guy as well. And then you have the Arch Manning, the legs of an Arch Manning. So naturally, I think with all of those things, like the red zone offense by default should be improved. But it's like, still, can we execute at a high, can we hit our upside? Can we execute at a very high level? Can we go in there and be one of the leading teams in the country, like an Indiana was, as far as converting in the red zone, not just converting, but putting six on the board. I mean, it goes a really really long ways. What's the update? Give me an
Home run,
update.
home run.
6-2.
Aiden Robbins. Good Lord, dude.
Are we shocked? No, not at all.
No, we're not shocked, but I mean, it's just the dude's insane.
He
Dude's,
is.
he's unreal.
Now solo. That's a solo shot.
It was a solo shot, so solo home runs they don't really do too much for you.
Hey,
But
keep
hey,
chipping away.
I will take anything, brother.
Keep chipping away again.
Oh no, wait. Oh no, it was a replay. Damn, they got me on the replay. That's the problem. I have sound off.
Brutal. Well,
So
I mean, it
one
was
to
just
10.
the timing with Chris's comment. So yeah,
Yeah.
no,
No,
Aiden,
I know. I saw the comment. I'm like, what happened?
yeah, just bad timing. Real quick, guys, we're gonna go to our first sponsor break or ad break of the night. We are gonna hear a quick word from Mr. David McClellan. We'll be right back.
Big financial decisions don't have to feel overwhelming. There's someone who can guide you every step of the way. David McClellan is a fiduciary financial advisor with Forum Financial, and he's working closely with his clients as a true financial life coach, guiding every aspect of your financial journey with expertise and care. If his name sounds familiar, that's because David was a swimmer at Texas and a member of several national championship teams. Today, he channels that same championship mindset into helping people win with their finances. David specializes in financial planning, and he's contributed numerous articles to Kiplinger on the topic of retirement tax bombs. And right now, David is offering viewers a free intro consultation to assess your financial situation. Do not miss this chance to get personalized guidance from a trusted expert. To schedule your free consult, email David at dmcclellan@forumfinancial.com, or you can call him directly at 312-933-8823. The contact info is in the description.
Yeah, Chris, I definitely did not expect to see 5-0 when I turned it on in the bottom of the second inning there. And again, it's not like Texas is playing bad baseball. South Carolina was just finding holes. So you got to Ruger a little bit. Part of the game. They found holes. I mean, they touched Ruger up in that second inning. It was not like Texas went out and committed a lot of errors, or that Ruger went out and walked a ton of guys or anything like that. They just hit the baseball where Texas wasn't. Pretty simple and unfortunate at the same time. Defense, Nash, if Texas lost 3 or 4 games, is the defense a part of that? Are we slow to are we slow in year one of the most champ era to put things together? Is it a thin linebacking core that maybe that becomes an issue for Texas? What do you have there?
I think for me it's the linebackers. I want to see how well they do versus the run game, because I think at this point, especially in the SEC, there's no secret in the fact that running the football that's what's going to win you games. I mean, you might win a game here or there running the ball poorly, and then you get some passes. But if you can consistently run the football and get those 3 to 4 yards in cloud dust, I mean, it's one of those deals. You can control the game clock. You can control the entire game. And I want to see our linebackers be able to combat the run effectively. And if they can't, I mean, that's going to put our offense in a precarious situation where we have to actually score points. We have to not even scoring a lot of points, but just when we get the ball, we can't miss an opportunity. We have to be efficient every time we touch the football.
I think we should be okay. I mean, but again, it's a Will Muschamp defense that, so we feel good about that, but it's year one. You talk about the lack maybe of depth at the linebacker position. Yeah. How do they handle the run? Can we stay healthy? That's going to be a big thing. Obviously, you got to protect Arch Manning. You got to protect these running backs, these receivers. Stay healthy on the O-line would be a huge plus. I, for one, like many, many other Texas folks out there, will be fingers and toes crossed when we get to August scrimmages. Just be healthy. That's going to be a big part of it. And that's my main thing for the defense. Need to stay healthy at safety. Need to stay healthy at linebacker. But again, I think as the season goes on, you'll see those guys kind of come into their own and, getting out the PK-isms and, fully adopting and just understanding what Muschamp is asking from these guys. And you still, you're hearing rave reviews about certain guys on this defense. You're going to have a really, really good and deep and talented defensive line. You're loaded with, pass rushers. And so those things are going to be able to help out that linebacking group, that back four a little bit more. So again, long way to go. It is the off season. So we're just here speculating if things were to go bad, how it could look. And so, let's talk Arch for a minute, because I definitely think if Arch Manning goes in there and plays even a C+ or better game in Columbus, Ohio, to start the season off for Texas last year, Texas wins that game maybe by 2 scores. You foresee Arch being a little bit of an issue to start the season the way that he was a year ago?
It's hard to see. I mean, but I think that's just going to come with the territory of like you see all the high level stuff that he does. You see his ability to run, and you just kind of assume that like nothing's going to go wrong, right? But this is also it's football, it's sports. I mean, things are going to go wrong. It's funny because if he plays a C+ game, we're not even thinking about the offensive line as an issue, right? Because like honestly, and even the reason why we thought of the offensive line as an issue, or not thought of the offensive line as an issue after Ohio State, is because Arch Manning's play kind of hijacked that.
Right.
It was like if he plays even just a little bit better, we're up by 2 scores, right? Like you said. I think a little bit goes hand in hand because there were times that he was making deliverable footballs. I mean, you said it yesterday, not to make excuses, but I mean there were multiple throws versus UTEP where Arch Manning had made a good throw that should have been caught, and it just wasn't, and that game goes sideways the way it does. Both ends have to help each other out. It can't be a deal where Arch Manning plays bad, and then when he gives you a good throw, somebody misses the throw. We can't have that happen.
And that's what we have. We have bad O-line play. We have bad quarterback play. We have bad wide receiver play. And people were acting like our pets' heads were falling off. And I mean, like they were. We couldn't run the most simple of concepts. We couldn't have 3 consecutive snaps without a pre-snap penalty. You know what I mean? Like people got on Arch, but like we talked about last night as well, it's a team game. You know what I mean? All these guys got to help each other out. Like you just said, Nash, when he does make a play, when he does put the ball where you can't drop the football, you got to help a young quarterback out. So I'm with you, man. I also agree that it's going to be pretty hard to see. You saw him just kind of slow everything down.
Just the way he ended the season. I mean, like he ended the season on a really, really high note where it's hard to see him going back down and having some bad games. Now, I mean, it could happen. Anything can happen in sports, but I just kind of almost go back to even like the Georgia game. He was playing a good game versus Georgia. Like if you're Arch Manning, you're getting I think he tied us up and then or got us to where we're near tied, and then he goes to the sideline ready to go in for another drive, and then all of a sudden
you're down.
He doesn't touch the ball for 14 points or 16 points or something like that, and it's just. And then by the time he gets the ball back, he's got the ball within the 10-yard line because we have a terrible decision on. And this is one of the other things I might be spoiling. My next point is special teams got to be better.
Got to be better.
We cannot have that level of like. I love me some Demo, right, and I hope he does good at Colorado, but you cannot make a decision like that where you pull the ball out of the end zone, and you're down before you can even get to the 10-yard line, and again in a deficit like that. Like it's just one of those deals where I always like I just think about the the mindset of Arch Manning that he's sitting there going like, how did I was expecting to give the ball back and go take us on a game, not game winning but game leading drive,
right?
And I think that's also one of the reasons why Kirby Smart made that decision on 4th down on his 36. I mean, that was in my opinion, that was hey, I respect that. If we give Texas the ball back, they might go and kill us, and they might get control of the rest of the game. So let me go ahead and let's stomp their throat real quick, and then that's why we're also going to go for it on this onside kick. I mean, it's just one of those deals where I think about the mindset of Arch Manning going, here I am this close, ready to go get the ball. And then next time I touch the ball, we're down like what was it, like 18 points or something like that.
28-10.
20. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those deals where I think about that. I'm like, man, that's got to be a really weird mindset to be in as a quarterback.
And again, man, like he could be better, and I'm sure he will be. But like you're saying, it's complementary football. You got to play as a team. You got to help each other out. Simple things. Catch the dang football. Protect the football. Don't commit a bunch of penalties. And again, this is a bunch of coach speak, but I mean it goes a long way. That's always attributes of a good football team. I mean, we feel good about the season, man. But there's definitely you have to be honest, and it's not easy, and this is not coping. This isn't excuse making. But Texas plays Ohio State. You get Tennessee, you get a bye, and then you have 8 straight SEC football games. You have 3 or 4 of those to end that stretch. Your last 4 games of the year, 3 of the 4 of those are on the road. You have road environments in Death Valley, Kyle Field, Missouri, but still, that to me is that's how healthy are we? Can we be healthy during that 8-game conference stretch? That's another the scheduling is another reason Texas maybe they miss the playoffs again. That would be a big part of it because that is a tough schedule, man. I mean, you get a road trip to Neyland Stadium. Obviously, we just talked about Death Valley, Kyle Field, throwing the anything goes essentially game with Oklahoma. You have Ohio State, who's kind of owned us. Florida, who kind of punked us last year. They're still going to have some big cats. They're still going to be good on the D line. They're going to be good in some really important spots on the football field. They come to Austin right after we get Oklahoma, and we haven't performed super well after OU. Since Sark got to town. And again, we're just here to speculate and have some fun. I think Texas is going to be favored in every damn football game they play and have a really good shot to win them all. But go ahead, Nash.
I mean, we're also, with that Texas A&M game, it's always going to be at the end of the year now. Again, as it should be. But if Texas is sitting there with 2 or 3 losses, A&M is playing with the chance to keep Texas out of the playoffs. And there's always going to be that fire for them, and that will be playing in College Station again. So, I mean, and like we've said on a couple of other lives, like this year their fans will be rabid more than any other time because
they're tired of getting punked,
and it's almost like a make it or break it type thing. Like they might make a premature decision or a bad decision on Mike Elko based off the result of that game, and I mean, it's kind of almost like a situation where it is with us with Ohio State and Georgia. It's like we're tired of losing that thing.
Yeah. I mean, again, I don't think they'll overreact. I think that they like Elko a lot, but I definitely think that there's a pressure on him to win that game, and on them just to perform in that rivalry in general. To be honest with you, what I mean, because Texas has had the upper hand. Obviously, they've only played 1 baseball series, but softball, basketball. I mean, we're worse. A&M's had better basketball teams than us. And we're still finding ways to split the series, still finding ways to have our season go longer. So, I mean, we weren't the better team. But again, time will tell, man. Schedule's tough. That to me is going to be something we really got to look at, really got to focus on. Go week by week, of course. But to me, it's why Ohio State is an absolute must-win game. Didn't think it was must-win last year. Felt good about Texas winning. I think Texas outplayed Ohio State. But man, it sure turned out to be a game that Texas really did need to win. We did get a lot of help. I thought there'd be more 3-loss teams involved in the college football playoff last year. I thought, middle of the season, I thought OU would finish with at least 3 losses. I thought Alabama would finish with at least 3 losses. Just didn't really get the breaks, man. I mean, it is what it is.
I mean, I know not to go on like a committee. Well, I kind of am going on a committee rant right here, but it's one of these deals where. Like even Kirby Smart, there was no reason for him to sit there and go and take the stand for Texas. He has nothing. Like it's maybe a win versus Texas seeds them a little bit better, but or they a bye team anyways. I mean, it's just like
right.
It's one of these deals where it was kind of almost comforting to. Oh, that was all. We got a base hit, got a base knock. They almost made one hell of a Superman catch, but to see Kirby Smart talk about And he said this about the SEC championship. The SEC championship, if they're not going to expand the playoff to 16 or 24 teams, then the SEC championship playing in that is going to be a detriment to you if you lose that game. But to see him also take the stand for Texas and say, hey, they played one of the toughest schedules in the nation, and they went and played Ohio State to the end. Like it's just one of those deals where if you punish teams for losing those games, they're gonna stop playing those games. And it's not just going to be at Texas; it's going to be every other school because I mean the end goal is to go win a national championship,
Right.
not to go win these games or sell a bunch of tickets for fans. Now, I think Del Conte made like a good decision. We're not going to cancel that game. We're gonna
Yeah.
we're still going to play it, but it might affect those games. 4 years out, 3 years out. It's one of those deals where I think this committee, man, and to me, it's not even about the decision that they made. It's the decision that they made with the wording. Don't tell me this is how we're gonna grade teams. This is how we're gonna do things, and then just completely ignore it at the end of the year.
Right.
Because it's one of my kind of tinfoil hat theories that they're literally just looking at Notre Dame joining them conference or what are we doing here? But it's one of my tinfoil hat theories that they're literally, because if you look at the rankings that they put out, and this goes back to I think like 2021, it almost mirrors exactly what the BCS rankings are. I'm fine with you saying, hey, we're just going to take the BCS system and we're going to put 12 teams in. But if you're doing that, just tell us that. Right? Just tell us, hey, we're going to do the BCS, and if there's one or two teams that we think need to be moved around, we're going to move them around. But there's so much correlation with those two polls, the cultural playoff poll and the BCS poll, over the last few years, that it does feel like they're just using the BCS. And also, if that's what we're doing, y'all don't need to be meeting and going and getting steak every weekend. I mean, like quit making this little 1 hour meeting deal where no cameras are allowed inside and all that stuff. There's just zero transparency.
It's and again, last year just the dominoes didn't really fall our way, but at the same time it's like make people schedule other people. I mean, like it's just not. I mean, Texas is playing 9 games in the SEC. We wilted to the pressure from the Big Ten. We catered to those guys, and now all of a sudden the Big Ten, it feels like, has a lot of the power as far as college football goes. It feels like they have their top programs basically have layups to make the college football playoffs, while the SEC is. It's not that the top of the conference is necessarily more difficult than the Big Ten, but it's the middle and the bottom of the conference is so much stronger, and there really are none to very few weeks off. I mean, Arkansas was, paper defense last year, and but they could still go score points. And there's some programs in the Big Ten offensively who are just so challenged. They're never going to step up and threaten the Ohio States or the Michigans or Oregon, et cetera, et cetera. So again, they won that battle. And the SEC went to a 9-game conference schedule, and we're about to find out just how difficult that is. We're going to hear from Andre, the lawyer, real quick, and we'll keep going.
Texans know when you're injured, there's one name that gets results: Andre, the lawyer. Trust the team that has secured millions for their clients and helped thousands of Texans win their injury cases. Car wrecks, slip and falls, 18-wheeler accidents, on-the-job injuries, wrongful deaths. Don't let the insurance companies tell you what your claim is worth. Andre the lawyer will fight for you. His principal office is in Dallas, but they serve Texans throughout the state. So don't wait. Call 214-444-8808. That's 214-444-8808. Contact info is in the description.
Alrighty, guys. And again, I'm just reminding you, I will be live for the Texas and UCLA Final Four matchup tomorrow, 8:30. Nash might pop on for a bit. We're just going to react to the game, give some commentary. We'll go through it all. Did this with a Sweet 16 matchup with Texas and Purdue over on the men's side. Things went well. Had a lot of fun. The comments, the chat was on fire. So we're going to run it back. We'll, again, you go support those women. They deserve it, man. It feels like their destiny. I don't know. Feels like destiny. And Nash, I'm getting kind of nervous. I'm closer we get to game time. I'm not ready to potentially say I never get to watch Rory Harmon in a Texas jersey again. I don't want that to be real life.
Here's the sad part about that, because I know I'm taking a little Debbie Downer approach here. You only get two more at best, and that is the sad thing.
She deserves to have both, though. She deserves to have those both.
Yeah,
of
no,
them.
she does. I mean, this whole team really does. I mean, they're a special group. They're built the right way. It would be really, really cool to watch them, come home from Arizona with a nice big souvenir.
Oh yeah, and again, I think when Texas is at their best, which I think we've seen the best basketball from maybe Texas women's ever in the last couple of weeks. They've really been on fire ever since going to Greenville and dominating South Carolina in the SEC tournament championship game. The way they played in that tournament, they're pretty dang good all around. But the way they've really, really locked in, we talked about it a little last night, man. They look ready for the moment. And again, Texas has been kind of knocking at that door. It was Elite Eight run, now it's Final Four. You got to break through at some point. And Vic Schaefer, in my opinion, he's the guy to get Texas there, and he's got a hell of a group to do it with right now. So they're going to have to play well. Lauren Betts, UCLA, they have a terrific squad over there. They're really, really damn good. Again, I mean,
it's not going to be easy at this point.
No, you got the four best teams in the country, clear-cut four best teams in the country. Texas did play really, really, really well. And the Players Era tournament or challenge or whatever it was in Las Vegas when they beat UCLA by 10 a day before beating South Carolina there on Rory Harmon's game winner. And yeah, this is something, and I just want to make a point, guys. Like, everybody jumped on Vic Schaefer for his comments. A lot of it was other teams, LSU fans, South Carolina fans. Again, we're hanging out on Twitter all the time. If you're not on there, come hang out. It's a blast. Got college football, college baseball, college basketball fans galore, having a good time, sometimes too good of a time. But everybody got on him like, why would you say this? Like, this is silly. And it just shows, in my opinion, how little people have been around the sport and been around just sports in general. It was standard coach speak. Coach sending a message to his team, trying to wake them up, trying to get a rise out of them, and he did. They're playing great basketball.
Which happened.
Wow. Anybody remember the video we pass around? Like, it feels like every other day of Augie Garrido just absolutely letting everybody. Same thing. Did Augie get a rise? Yeah, we talked about it last night. They went to Game 3 of the College World Series, lost to LSU in a classic. That's just being a coach. He knew. I think
they lost one game after that in between the College World Series.
There you go. Yeah, they rattled. They went crazy. And so, yeah, again, it's just Vic Schaefer pressing the right buttons because his ladies are balling right now. It's going to be a lot of fun. So if you have time, pop it on the TV, come throw it on your phone, throw the YouTube on your phone, come hang out in the chat with us. Again, probably go live 5 to 10 minutes before tip-off there, 8:30 tip-off in Phoenix for the Lady Horns as they get ready. They'll play the winner of South Carolina, UConn, who'll be playing a 6 o'clock game. So we'll know our opponent, because we're making it to the Natty. By the time that we tip off, we'll know who Texas will be facing. Will it be South Carolina for the 3,912th time in the last 2 seasons? Or will it be Gino REM? I want Gino.
I want it to be UConn, because I know I made a tweet earlier in the year too, like saying, hey, Texas, they played this many ranked teams, right? They should have been ranked number 1. And then we lost to LSU and South Carolina after that. But it's one of these deals where I do think that playing a UConn would actually lend us, a hand almost, because at that point we have a much more tested schedule. We played a lot more tough teams than UConn has. I mean, at that point, UConn's tough schedule is basically South Carolina, and that's it.
Yeah. I want to play UConn just because I want to go through UConn. Not many. I don't know. Maybe y'all, Chris, you probably remember this. Think about the 2003 Final Four. Texas men, we lost to Syracuse. Who'd the women lose to? They lost to UConn. Had a double-digit lead going into the half against Diana Taurasi. Those UConn teams. Jamie Carey, I believe, was our big dog. Man, I'm getting old. But yeah, she was our big dog inside for Texas. Double-digit halftime lead. UConn came out on fire in the second half, and they won by double digits, if I'm remembering correctly. Again, these were some really, really damn good UConn teams. They felt like they didn't lose a game for a decade. So, anyways, I want UConn, Texas, and Don Staley. They've battled enough over the last 2 years. We've seen South Carolina play for several titles. Me personally, I want Gino. I want Ari. I want UConn. UConn is women's basketball. That's what I want to go through. Karen, yeah, I think so. I don't remember what year it was, but I believe you're right there, Chris. I believe Nash never stopped doing what you're doing. Well, he stopped the mustache thing, so that's good. But now
I mean, it's
Nash,
back, but it might be gone.
nah,
We'll
don't do
see.
it. Don't do it, man. You got to trim that thing so Ruger can get back on track. But it's it's gonna be a blast tomorrow night, 8:30. Y'all come in here, hang out with us. It'll be a lot of fun. But again, just root the horns on wherever you're at. Doesn't matter. Don't worry about us. But if you have the time and can come hang out with your guys, please do so because we'll be having a good time. I am nervous. I honestly legit have goosebumps right now. I want this for these ladies. They deserve this. It is their time. Time to knock the door down, baby. You just got to step on through it. Again, it's going to take two really, really excellently played basketball games because UCLA and then obviously UConn or South Carolina are both really, really tough. But what did I say last night? I think Texas, I think UCLA are both better than UConn and South Carolina. I think whoever wins this game goes on to be the national champion. Bob has one question for us. In our opinion, what's the weakest link of this current UT football team? I'll answer first for you, Bob. For me, it is the offensive line. I mean, just being honest. And I really hope that Kyle Flood is that guy. Because if he's not, it's hard to put it on the kids, too much, but considering that we don't really run the ball very well, not very consistently, at least way too many negative plays. We don't get a lot of push. And then the penalties mixed in. There's just no excuse, for that offensive line to look the way that it did coming into the 2025 season. Obviously, I think we failed mightily right there. I think Sark probably had to be really surprised that unit ended up being the way that it was. Again, I'm not going to say that it might be the weakest link come August. We don't know. We'll see what this group looks like, especially once Lauren Seymour is on campus. Melva Siani, a little more adjusted to life in a real football state. No disrespect to the great state of North Carolina. But yeah, that was just me personally. Nash, you care to answer?
I think, I mean, I would agree, but just to give a different perspective, my second most concerned position would be for weakest link would probably be the defensive tackle. It's going to be. I think we have some guys there, right? But this has kind of been the same situation for the last few years where we're replacing players, we're replacing a lot of starters, and I just think anytime that you're replacing a lot of starters, you're gonna there's potential for issues.
Yep.
So it's just one of those deals where either we're not running the ball well, or teams run the ball too well against us. One of the two.
No. Excuse me. Yeah, I mean, and again, got to run the football, man. Got to be able to put games away. You got to be able to pick up the third down, the third and shorts, the fourth and shorts, the money downs. You got to be able to pick that stuff up without being super creative, super gimmicky. You're not going to be able to just throw it out on quick speed outs time and time again. You got to be able to man up, line up, run the damn football. And again, hopefully we see more of that from Texas. Good question, though, Bob. And yes, there you go, Chris. UConn knocked Texas out of the 2016. Furthering my point, we owe UConn. I want UConn. Again, South Carolina is damn good. Wouldn't be surprised to see them win that game at all. I do think that they're going to have a pride check, because UConn embarrassed them last year in the national championship game. I think we see South Carolina step up and play a really, really good basketball game. But again, I do think that the two teams on Texas' side, both Texas and UCLA, whoever wins, they lift the crown. Guys, thanks for watching tonight. I really do appreciate it, Nash. Appreciate you hopping in last second with me, my man. Texas baseball, not dead yet. We all love a rally, a really big crooked number. Maybe it's coming for Texas, but I'll see you tomorrow night, 8:30, inside Texas. Be there.